So, um, people are like, well, why do you care so much about, freedom and all that? The reason I care so much because I know what the government agenda is. And I do not want to live in a George Orwell type of world where we have no freedom. I don't. No, because it's not going to end well for the next generations afterwards. If they do this, I guarantee you're going to see suicides go up. I guarantee you're going to see people's happiness go down. Because they don't care about people's happiness. They care about their happiness, their money. They don't care about us, the American people. They don't care about our freedoms anymore. Don't think they do because they don't. Because listen, they got all their money. They got all their money. They got all their fame. They don't care about us. They don't care about freedom anymore. They forgot what they are, which is Americans. I don't know why, but they did. They forgot, they forgot about this country. They forgot to fight for the common man. They forgot to fight for freedom of privacy. They forgot to fight for freedom of speech. They forgot these things. They forgot, the fighting for, hey, stay out of my bedroom. Which was a big thing back in the 80s and 90s. Hey, which is, a big thing. Hey, when it comes, was it? Oh yeah, came to gay people, gay marriage. If you accept gay marriage or not, at the end of the day, that ain't your business. But like two grown men getting married, to me acceptable. You know what I mean? Sure, I might not agree with it, but at the same time, that's not my business. They're grown adults; they can do what they want. Freedom of religion. Hey, hey, I'm allowed to preach whatever I want to preach in my church. You do not have the right to shut my church down. You don't have the right to force me to marry people that I disagree with. Or I think is immoral, or make me do things that I think is immoral. But at the same time, if you want to do things that are immoral but are legal, I think you should do. If you want to do them, because at the end of the day, that's not my business. Like they say, as long as you stay on your side, I stay on my side. We're all good. But on the, what I mean. But at the other hand, I should be allowed to believe whatever I want to believe, say what I want to say, and we should be able as Americans to go back and forth like that. You know what I mean? We should be able to freely travel in this country. We should, demand a higher level of respect from our politicians. Hey, I'm not a child. You don't get to make legislations like, make legislations or apps that can basically track me and track my private information. That's my private information. You don't get to do that. And if you do, and if you keep doing that, or keep making apps, or keep making things that are against freedom, like freedom of speech, freedom of privacy, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Regardless of how you feel, we are going to drag you out in handcuffs. Because you're not American. You're not funny. You're not, to us, you're a traitor. You're not American anymore. Regardless if this is going to help this country or not, there's something, even for you Bible nuts out there, there's something called free will. The freedom to choose your own destiny. We used to know what that meant back in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We don't understand that anymore, sadly. And I keep tired of hearing, let's say like a show from let's say Archie Bunker. If somebody came up with an idea like that now, people are like, oh, we can't do that because it's offensive. Well, guess what? I think we should do something like Archie Bunker anyway. Because guess what? Regardless if it's a modern day or not. Because it's called freedom of speech. I think we also should do shows like Roseanne. And Roseanne shouldn't be canceled just because she said, a couple of tweets on the internet. Sure, her show shouldn't have been taken away like a child. At the end of the day, she's a grown adult, just like everybody else. Okay, she doesn't. She shouldn't have to be punished just because she said a couple of naughty things. You know, even if you liked it, would you like what she said or not? It doesn't matter. Same thing. You know, I am an atheist. You know, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell a non-atheist, what to believe in their household, or what to do when it comes to their business, or when it comes to their children. You know what I mean? As long as you keep your religion to yourself, I keep keep your religion to yourself. I keep my non-religious perspective to myself. You're good and I'm good. And if you want to talk about it, just let you know, I'm gonna have disagreements with you. You're gonna have disagreements with me. I don't get to threaten violence on you. You don't get to threaten violence on me. We will talk. We'll have a rational conversation like rational adults. And that's the way it should be. Like, what's that line in Demolition Man? And Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone, where that guy said, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he said, listen, I want high cholesterol. I want to run around, the streets naked at night, and nobody called the cops. I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to, be told to go to bed at a certain time like a child. Oh, you know what I mean? I want high cholesterol. I want and just have a goddamn cigarette during a long day at work. I want that beer, where if it's good for me or not. And today, that's the point of freedom, making my choices with the right or wrong, and having the freedom to make those choices. And nobody, and people can say what they want to say to me about my choices, but at the same time, I have the right to make those choices without going to prison for it, without going to jail, without any of that. As long as I'm not physically hurting anyone, it doesn't matter. You can think whatever you want. And, as long as I'm not physically hurting anyone or blatantly breaking the law. When I mean breaking the law, I'm talking about stealing from somebody. I'm talking about forcing yourself onto people, stuff like that. As long as you're not doing stuff like that, to me, you can literally do whatever you want. Okay, that's not my place to tell you what you can or cannot do as an adult. It's not the government's place to tell us as the American citizens, that we're not allowed to talk or speak our minds about certain issues. Or, and that's also not the American government's place, to say, basically sit there and take it while we slowly take your freedoms away. The freedoms that were assured to us in the Constitution. You don't get to do that. Regardless if this makes the country so-called better or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's going to make the country so-called better or not. At the end of the day, this is America. America. This isn't Russia. This isn't a communist country. This isn't China. If you want to live there, live there. But this is America. We should not accept those things. Okay? It's like we also shouldn't accept basically what they want to create, which is a social credit card system. Where basically if you have the wrong opinions, or God forbid, you worship the wrong God, or are an atheist yourself, God forbid, God forbid, you think a little differently from the collective. And then, they try to censor you, try to destroy your businesses. But listen, which isn't right. People should say whatever they want to say without consequence. Okay, meaning, you're not going to get fired from your job just because you said something stupid. Because people didn't do that back in the day. People didn't do that in the 70s or 80s. You said something racist, sure, people might not be upset about it, but people wouldn't be calling for your resignation. Even if they were, what they would say? Well, guess what? We don't agree with him, but he has the right to say that. At the end of the day, he has freedom of speech just like everybody else has freedom of speech in their country. He has the right to say his opinions just like everybody else, whether you like his opinions or not. Same thing. Listen, I think the trans thing is weird. But at the same time, I think people have the right to do that. Because at the end of the day, it's not hurting anyone, and as long as you don't basically, promote that or promote that in, like, let's say in our schools or whatever, I don't care. I don't care what grown adults do. They're grown. The day you turn 18, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. You know what I mean? Also, a thing that I don't understand is, you can fight, you can drive, you can have kids, you can do porn, but yet, you can't have a cigarette or a goddamn beer, or you can't even, like, in the weed stores now, the CBD stores, you can't even get, a pre-rolled joint until you turn 21, which is stupid. If we're gonna decide 18 is the adult, that means 18-year-olds should get all the rights of adults, regardless of how you feel about it. Alright, that's it.